Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another exciting chapter of A Tale D20s presents Descent into the Void, where six friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion. So, without further ado, let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. Last time, Liberators, you arrived at Shimmerdrift Watch, where you met up with King Terminus and his close council. There was discovered that there was a traitor in your midst. After being interrogated by King Terminus, you were all deemed safe, and Monaco noticed that Hector, a Corpus Arcana mage with the king, was acting very shifty. Confronted, Hector was revealed to be a follower of the Dark Lord and waved his wand frantically in what looked to be an attempt at King Terminus, but shot a beam of chaotic energy crashing into Monaco before he was bombarded by a barrage of blasts that quickly ended his life. The King Terminus revealed that he was assigned by Alara Sunfell herself. King quickly healed Monaco with a restoration spell, and with the traitor ousted, you all continued discussing your plans to save Shiverin. It was decided that the Liberators would place 4 orbs at places of power within Shiverin to allow communication and teleportation to reach throughout Shiverin, while Julian and his knights would sneak into Fia and rescue as many civilians as they can while performing reconnaissance. Finally, King Terminus would storm into Shiverin, taking Chilford and other forts to create a stronghold. With the plan all set, you all headed to the Endless Decanter, where you drank and ate with the army of Thelos. King even found himself a beefy, handsome fighter by the name of Nathaniel, and they seemed to hit it off, as King left the bar with him, intentions to follow him home for possible relations. Monaco and Horatio were left alone within the attached inn, while Duran stayed out watching for malicious activity, ever the vigilant, and Cal went back to the Ice Crown. Lamenting on his lack of answers from his deity, his father, in a fit of anger, he slammed the helm of the ship, revealing 2 gun-shaped compartments that were shaped like his magic pistols. Once he placed them in there, images flooded throughout his mind at an alarming rate as the Ice Crown shifted and reformed hundreds of times over. Cal, as the images that flood your mind finally come to rest, you notice that the guns are still hard set in the slots within the helm. Your mind is breaking into pieces. The only similar feeling you had to this was when you sat upon the arcane throne. With that, Cal, I need you to roll me an intelligence saving throw. Okay, so Cal, a 13. As you finally let go of the helm, releasing it, the Ice Crown goes back to its normal shape, glittering in and out of the ethereal. You fall to your knees, a headache just rushing against you. You're thinking back on what happened, plans, machinations, forms that the Ice Crown can take, possible ways to augment the power. You learn more about it, how to use it to go faster, how to use it to power itself, even to use its weapons even in a more efficient manner. But unfortunately, the information was so much that it will take you some time to piece together all the rest that flood into your head as you fall down to your knees. Just your head is throbbing back and forth.
What is this?
As you look around, the ship is empty. It's very late. There's no one off into the distance. There was a couple people who were looking pretty shocked as you look over the ship's bow and see them kind of staring in your direction. The crashing of the waves just hitting the side of the Ice Crown. But your guns are still locked into the helm, and they don't seem to be budging. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a hold of the handles of the pistols and focus all of my thoughts with Kalemvor and the energy to shape this ship as, like, not everything has been accessed in all these memories that have just flooded into my mind, but so that, like, I know that I got sort of like a general broad-stroked picture that moving the wheel with these revolvers while focusing will do something, and I'm going to try to do that.
Okay. So you go ahead and place your hands onto your guns and attempt to move the wheel. Now, this is the first time you've actually grabbed the guns with it. In doing so, you put your fingers onto the trigger and feel the cold steel across your tips and give it a pull. And as you do so, the actual ship's helms splits in half, revealing a second gear-like compartment that turns when you turn your actual your guns. And when they do, they click, almost like a combination lock every time you move it to a different notch. And there seems to be several combinations of locks. You're not sure if you go left, right, left, how it works, but it does seem that you can click it at least 12 times.
12 times, you said?
Yes.
I try clicking it 7 times.
Okay. You go ahead and click it over 7 times. As you do so, it seems like the Ice Crown shifts almost like a chameleon into different forms, giving the illusion of what looks to be some type of a large sea creature. Shifting, it then shifts its illusion, and it's, you can see it change its shape, its form, with these illusionaries and in all these illusionary shifts. But you know where you are. You know you're on a ship still, but. And then you hear the kind of screams of the people who are the couple guys who are still on the dock, as they're just like, oh, what the? As you just see, as you're doing it, you're just changing the look of the ship. One turns into like a large creature. The next it turns into what seems to be a different, completely shaped ship, more like a galleon. And then the more and more you do it, the more it changes its look. Roll me a perception check.
Oh, so bad. A 9.
A 9. Okay. As you're moving around and adjusting the ship itself, you notice a light touch on your left shoulder. Looking back, you see the familiar smile and ephemeral look of the god Kalimvor blended in with Galilius, staring at you with a look of what you now notice to be a combination of a happiness or of seeing you, but a look of disappointment as well, as you once again are confronted by the familiar figure of Kalimvor, as you did before in your vision back with the weapons. His voice still booming in that double two-tone voice of Kalimvor and Galilius. Calamity, my champion, I congratulate you. As a work of art, what he was able to create with this ice crown. Through this, you'll always be connected to me, and we have much to discuss.
Yes, we do.
He starts to walk around you, his eyes looking around at the ship with a sense of familiarity, but he looks back towards you, and now his face, that sense of happiness has just turned to more of a stern look as he looks over at you. And he stands about like 6'5", so he does stand a little bit taller than you, clad in his armor, but that still familiar face of your father.
Kalimvor, I had to save them.
You did not heed my warning, Calamity. I told you would have a choice to save all of reality or to save your friends. Your oath that you took in my name was to be ever vigilant, unquestioning on your conquest to defeat the darkness that lays ahead. What do you have to say for yourself?
I couldn't just watch from the side. Everything falling apart around me. I had to save my friends. Without them, there was no saving everything else.
And you've opened Pandora's box and have released what I have sealed so long ago. Sealed with your very power. Now Hades walks among us, my other half. Don't you see, Calamity? This is all connected. Eros, Erebus, Gaia, Hades, the Aegis. They are bringing ruin upon us. Do you remember what I told you about the aberrant?
Of course. Must never open it.
But I fear now with Hades loose, that might be a future that comes to pass.
I will stand vigilant against it.
He turns around and begins walking along the deck of the ship. He has like a strange glow towards him, and he doesn't really make sound as he walks across, but as he looks back towards you, well, I watched as you walked upon the grounds of Eustacia. I watched as you unlock Pandora's box at the taunting of the Morai. I watched as you allow chaos to reign. The creed you have taken so long ago, the creed you took in Galilia's name, and my name, and our name, has been broken.
No! No!
He gets closer towards you. As put forth by the power of being your patron, I break the oath that you've casted upon me. For what is not needed is not one to run into battle and defeat with no questions the darkness. What is needed is something new, something stronger, someone who can transcend that of mortality. And that is not what you are. Yet. And he turns around when he says this. Calamity, what do you truly desire?
I desire to stand vigilant from anything that threatens my home and my friends, because I am loyal to them, and together we are strong, like the forged steel of these weapons that I use in your name. And although the chaos can seem overwhelming, I will not let Hades win. I will be disciplined to put him back into that box.
Then so be it. Calamity Morgal, Paladin of Conquest, is no more. And when he does that, he lifts up his left hand, and then clenches it, and there's a shadow as a bright light is shined from you. Once the light subsides, after a few seconds, you see this orb kind of float out of your body, and it's painful. It gets pulled out. As the orb stays there, it starts to fizzle and dissipate and turn into nothing, and you just lose all connection to your paladin powers. Then, speak the oath. Be the shield against the terrors that lie beyond the reach of the mortals. Sharpen your mind like a fine blade, wielded to cut through the forces of darkness with righteous light. Be vigilant in the face of evil. Trust your instincts. Guide others. Protect those who are ignorant of the madness that lies in the shadows. Bind yourself to the mortal realm and become its champion. Now rise, Calamity Morgal, mortal key of Kelemvor, keeper of balance, protector of the light, first paladin of the Watchers of Chaos. And as he says this, a new orb forms in front of you, Cal. This time it's a different light, a warmer, sun-like tone, yellow and white. As it gets fused into your chest, it burns with that white-hot intensity as it pieces in there, as this glowing energy just starts to swirl. A beacon shoots up into space beyond that can be seen from miles away. Anyone who's looking out the window looks up and is creating like a bright light within 100-foot sphere within that area. The connection to the planar zones you feel in you. Eustacia, the 9 hells, the realms, that in between the void that you've traversed. You can just feel the connection to each and every one of them. Though it's fleeting, as everything comes into one, you open up your eyes, they're shining with that yellow light energy. Until finally, vision comes back, you see, and you feel a new divinity flowing within you with the smiling face of Kelimvor that more reflects Gililius in this light above you.
This oath I swear, and I will not let you down. Not again.
You are my champion. I trust you, my champion, my son. And he puts his hand on your shoulder, lifts you up if you're still kneeling. There's much to do, and very little time. Yes, Pandora's box has been open, and since the Morai are the ones who led it to you, I assume that they're in league with Hades, which means that he has fate on his side. But you are a Watcher of Chaos. Your powers will be able to transcend that of fate and time. As is done so, I need you to break this fate. I need you to find Hades, aid your allies. You will all have parts to play in this.
Yes. Thank you for this guidance.
I'm so proud of you. I knew, ever since the day I met you, I knew I couldn't leave you in the hands of the equipoise or the bloodline.
I still have so many questions.
In time, don't trust Drusilla Lenar. She may be contacting you in the coming days. Walk that line carefully, and do not trust the Knights of Equipoise.
I cannot. They have been corrupted by Hades.
And they will be his army. Don't let them taint you. Hades is just an aspect of me. He needs you, Calamity. His words are sweet and tender, impactful, yet dark. Do not be swayed by them.
I will stay vigilant.
And bring others to the fold. You are the first Watcher of Chaos. For the battles ahead, we need more in our creed. Spread the word. Work the shadows. Stay smart. Trust yourself above all others, for you are the mortal key. You have saved the plains time and time again. You just don't remember. But you may in time. He gets up and starts to walk away. As he looks back to you and fades away, and the light that he's illuminating around him starts to get dimmer and dimmer. You hear a whisper, "I love you, son." And he fades away. So you can now start using. You are now a paladin of Watchers, Oath of the Watchers, and you have the new character sheet.
Yes.
Losing all of your fighter, you are now a level 15 paladin of the Watchers.
Yes. Oh, feels like putting on some new clothes, but it's like already broken in and like ready and made for you. This is perfect.
All right. So, King, as you walk down the not as busy anymore streets of this Shimmerdrift watch, standing in front of you, leading the way, a little bit tipsy, and you see he's like sloughing back and forth, is the very muscular, buff, but smiling, brown-eyed, brown-haired Nathaniel. I'm just right up here. My family, they were able to, since we've been in the army for generations, we have a nice place to stay. They don't have to worry about any, bunkmates or anything like that.
Oh, good.
So, you didn't tell me anything about yourself. What brings you here in the King's army?
Well, I really shouldn't tell you too much, but we're on a secret mission for King Terminus.
Oh, really? Well, yes, mum's the word. You don't have to tell me anything. Yeah, I thought you were a squire. Pardon my rudeness from before.
It's quite alright. I, can't help but be as big as I am, and I put my hands on my waist and sort of look up at this giant of a man with all 5 foot of myself.
He chuckles. So, I don't mean to be rude, but as you said you were an elf, I'm assuming you're from the other, and he points like up and down.
Yes. That's actually, well, yes. I'm originally from the Broken Lands, the surface most plain world, I guess.
Can't say I've heard of it. I've been here all my life, and
Above this world is a desert and a world of sand and sunlight. And then above that is a desolate land of dying earth, limited resources, and tribes of nomads, of humans and elves and all kinds, scavenging the lands. A horrible life of squalor. That's where I'm from.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry.
There's hope, though. I know that below, and I gesture down, there's a forest that is meant for the elves and the allies of elves, and I am trying to liberate that land and bring my people there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Haha, and well, I haven't done it yet. I'm not quite strong enough just yet. I'm still working towards it.
I bet you're stronger than you think, especially if you're working with the king. I won't underestimate you again. Here we are.
Right
this
here?
Is me.
Oh, go.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me lock the door. And you see, it's like a small little like square building. It seems like with like one story, and with normal wooden door. But there is a crest of a lion's head with like what looks to be the main, looks like sun rays coming out of it. It's very ornate.
I'll ask him. Oh, Nathaniel, what's this crest mean? This is gorgeous.
Oh, well, my family name is Grayson. Graysons were known to have slain a creature known as a manticore, and has like a lion's head, and we saved the city. So is the tales, and this has been our family crest, head of a manticore. And the sun rays, it's the power as we exuberate light, as they say. But I'm not like a paladin or anything like that. I'm just a fighter.
Well, we all have plenty of things that were useful. Not everyone needs to be holy or magical. Sometimes just being able to swing a sword and be there for your allies is, and I sort of like hang on that for a moment, what matters the most.
Okay. He looks over at you and kind of squints his eye for a bit, and then he goes, "Oh, right, yeah, exactly. And he goes and turns the key and opens the door. Well, here we are." And he like opens up the door.
I feel kind of fuzzy. I don't think that I'm quite in my right mind right now. Hold on a moment, and I'll bring Caliburn a little bit closer, and I'll like hold it, and I'll use some of the energy that's innate within it, and use 2 of the charges and cast Lesser Restoration on myself to remove the poison from being drunk.
Okay. All right. So you go ahead and cast your Lesser Restoration on yourself, and he looks on as the magic flows out, and it has a slight glow towards it, very shocked. He goes, "Oh,
I wasn't quite in my right mind, and you're so warm and nice, and will make someone really happy, but I can't right now. He's like a whole head and a half taller than me, right?
Yeah.
I will look up to him and I'll say, I'm in a really bad spot with my companion, my soulmate. He's been mentally shattered and is physically in different planes of existence right now. And I know that that's a lot to take in, and he's been so mean to me lately that I felt like I just needed a strong man. Someone like you to be nice to me. But that's not what I need. I need to be strong for my friends and for myself. And thanks for talking to me tonight and keeping me company. But I'll have to leave you at your door here. As I, look up at him.
He looks on over towards you. I don't know if I understood all of that, but what I do understand is that you have someone you care deeply for who's in trouble. I totally understand. It's fine. It was fun talking with you and hanging out.
Here. You're going into battle and going to be aiding us. And I know that you'll find a good use for this. And I'll rummage through my bag and I'll pull out one of the vials of enchanted holy water that I've made. And I'll say, this is holy water that I have made myself. And with that, I will also, unfurl my wings and, levitate up. So that way I'm, just about a little bit, my face is above his face. I'll lean in and give him, a kiss on the forehead and put it in his hands. And say, this is my holy water. And then I'll, turn and fly away majestically.
Okay. He goes ahead and grabs the holy water and touches, you look back one last time, or maybe not, but he touches his fingers to his forehead where you kissed him. Goes back in and you hear the door slam shut and close. So where are you flying to?
I don't know. Just up into the sky. Hopefully a small child will see me with the moon backlit and think I'm a fairy flying across the moon.
Okay.
But I'll probably fly back to the same tavern that we were in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, see if someone's there. Or see if they got a room, because I don't really know what they did. But
yeah,
I'll fly back to the tavern and I'll take my time and fly back and then see what's going on when I get there.
Okay. Alrighty. So, King, you fly off. There's no children here. There's all army people, so.
I know. I'm just putting the imagery into people's minds.
But there are people who are walking by, and then you probably do look like a fairy. You hear some ooh, because yes, you are still flying with butterfly wings in there, and it's not completely empty. As you hear that, but you continue flying off. Meanwhile, Monaco, Horatio, the two of you are the only ones inside of the room that Horatio had purchased for everyone. It's like I say, it's a large room, enough space for all of you to kind of sleep in, with some beds and a hearth and things like that. While Duran is out front. What are the two of you doing, or are you just gonna go to bed?
What time is it at the moment?
It's late, past midnight.
Past midnight, and early in the morning is when we're gonna head out to. What is it that we're gonna do exactly?
In the morning, you're going to go off onto the Ice Crown and go into Fia.
And go
it's
into
different.
Fia.
Yeah.
Harisha looks at Minako and says, "How are you feeling?"
I mean, all right, I suppose. I mean, obviously, going back to Shivran stirs up a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Thanks for, back there when I got hit by that spell. It was like you didn't care that you could have gotten vengeance like the others. You went to me.
I mean, don't mention it. It's all right.
All right.
And Harisha will look at Minako and just kind of smile and says, "Everything's gonna be all right. We'll be able to save your home."
On the Ice Crown, when I talked to Duran, he said that it's gonna come down to having to kill Hiei no matter what. Do you believe that?
There's a high probability that might be it, but if there's even a sliver that we can save him, then maybe we should go for it.
I can't help but thinking about the good times. But what I know that when we go there, we're gonna see just how bad it really got. I mean, chaos were to rule. That means the demons are free to run amok, aren't they?
Yeah, but we're the liberators. We're not worried about some demons.
We're supposed to go to Chilford first. I have family there.
Have you been able to contact them at all? Do you know if they're okay?
I have no idea. Last I checked with anyone in Shiveron, it was Kai, and he said things were looking great. And now we can't get through to anyone in there. There's some kind of barrier. I just hope that once we get inside, we can try something.
I'll make sure I have a sending prepared tomorrow, so that if anything, I can send a message once we're inside and let them know help is coming.
Good. That's good at least. I do believe in us. I think we can really do this. I just hope that destruction hasn't been. No, I can't think like that. I'm sorry.
I mean, even if there is destruction, I have no doubt that the people can rebuild, and they will. But you should get some rest. I'd like to speak with King Terminus before bed.
I think he was still downstairs.
All right.
Before, I guess, I did promise King I would check on him, even if he seemed like he didn't want me to. Do you think it's safe to use the earrings of sending directly like that?
If you're messaging King directly, it's safe, yes.
And she'll kind of tap it as though tapping actually helps, and then activate the earring of sending to directly communicate with King, and just ask, King, are you okay?
At this point, you would be flying away.
What? I'm okay. Where are you?
We're still in the tavern. Did something happen?
No. I'm coming. I'll be there in a minute.
I'm kind of glad to hear that.
Me too.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
I'll be there in a few minutes. I don't know how far of a walk it was. Maybe it will only be a minute, but I'm flying too, so.
Like, you're flying, you'll be there like in a couple minutes. It's not
Okay.
that big. It wasn't that
So I'll look for them when I get there.
Horatio will say everything all right.
Yeah, he's okay.
Cool.
I don't think he went through with it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go find King Terminus.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night. And Horatio goes to look for King Terminus.
All right. So, Rachel, you go out. You start to look for King Terminus. Head down the stairs. Seems to be pretty empty. Doesn't look to be anybody in there. And you definitely know where King Terminus is. He's a large guy. And looking around, roll me a perception check.
Dungeon Master. So, quick question. So he'd have to get past a van.
Yes, you're totally right. So yes, rewind that. So, yeah, I completely forgot. You're right outside the door. So, as you open up the door, Horatio, in your search for King Terminus, you open up and see Duran sitting there across, like, basically standing vigilant, watching the door.
Hello, Duran.
Duran ate without opening his eyes. Shouldn't you be resting for the battle tomorrow?
I will be soon. I just need to speak to King Terminus briefly. Kind of like Horatio. Are Duran's eyes closed?
His eyes are both closed.
Okay. He kind of like waves his hand in front of Duran, and shrugs his shoulders and goes to look for King Terminus.
All right. So as you go around, looking for King Terminus and noticing that it seems to be pretty empty in the bar, going back upstairs to kind of look around, roll me a perception check. And Duran, you can do so too.
I rolled a 14.
I rolled a 22.
All right. So both of you, on your floor that you're on is a long corridor leading off to what seems to be a symmetrical setup on the other side, probably about I would say about like maybe 100 feet across. You hear what sounds to be some type of, not an explosion per se, but like a minor, like a poof, like a small like explosion going off, with the sounds of what seems to be some type of animal noise. Chicken? You can hear that as a chicken, definitely, Duran. And then laughter. Boisterous laughter.
Ah, that must be him. And Horatio will head in that direction.
Okay. As you walk down there, it takes you a few seconds, and you make it to the other side of the door that looks similar to the same door that you had, although what you notice that the Thalosian crest is on the door. And you hear, "Glorious! Glorious!" Coming from the background.
Horatio would knock on the door, just...
1 second! And you hear like, and sounds of animal noises chasing, and then the door bursts open. You see above the actual height of the door is King Terminus, as he kind of bends down and looks over at you and says, "Horatio, my friend, it's glorious to see you. How can I help you, my friend?"
I just, actually, this is a bit of a selfish request, but I was wondering if it'd be possible for us to maybe trade some spells. If I could take a look at your spell book, I actually came up with something that I feel you might be able to use.
Horatio, you want to look at my spell book?
Well, yes. There's a particular spell that I'm looking for, and I'm just wondering if you're curious if you have it, and I actually came up with a protection spell and that I'd like to share with you.
Well, I know many spells, so I'm curious. Roll me a persuasion check.
Ooh. Do I have any form of advantage because I am offering a spell?
Yeah, he's curious, talking about there's a, yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Cool, thank you, DM. Ooh, thank you, DM. 18.
18, okay. He looks over at you. Well, your lineage makes me curious. Yes, friend, come in.
Thank you. And Horatio enters and pulls out his spellbook as he's entering.
You enter in the room, and although it was on the opposite side of yours, this room looks completely different. Looks to be more like what a king's bedroom would look like, all in the colors of the purple and sapphire of the Thalosian color scheme, as well as the crest placed everywhere. There are paintings of him, as well as other types of paintings of battle scenes and things, with a beautiful purple and blue bed, king-size bed, with a veil over it. There's a little bit of a mess underneath a large desk as he has, as there's like pots and potions and all types of things there, smoke coming out of it, as well as 2 barnyard animals, a pig and a chicken, running across, causing more of a mess, and papers flung around.
You're experimenting, I see, as he looks at the animals.
Yes, I was testing something. Oh, well, I'll tell you about it later, friend. So let's see your spell. As he goes into his gigantic wizard's sleeves and pulls out a thick, very thick, large, brown, with golding etchings in it, in the symbol of the Thalosian monarchy, on top of the cover, his spell book. You could just feel the arcane just coming off of it.
Oof. Alright, Horatio will go to the nearest table that's not occupied and place his spell book down and open it to the miasma of protection that Horatio came up with, and would say, "Look, this is the spell that I created, and I think it might be useful to you." He
goes and puts down his spell book next to yours, and you notice there's a big difference. Where yours is more like a book, his is like kind of
his is like a
little bit longer than like a tome. Yeah, exactly. It's more close. It's actually closer to Rezril's tome on how it is. But though he had like large slats, and this is just paper, but it's that size. As he slams it down, it's like much thicker than yours. And he looks down over at your spell and starts reading it. Interesting name. Oh, but a glorious effect. Oh, did you come up with this on your own?
I had the assistance of Koben, but for the most part, yeah.
Ah, Master Koben. He's a glorious demon hunter.
Yes, he is. Great wizard as well. Strong.
Yes.
Physically strong.
As he always says, a strong body houses a strong mind, no?
Yes, he does say that a lot.
Well, if
Is
you
it-
don't mind, he goes and picks up your book without even saying well another
Absolutely.
word.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I would like to look through your book if it's okay.
So, he goes and like slides it over, and you go and grab it. It's like heavy as shit.
Yeah, and I start flipping through the pages to see what grasps my attention.
Okay. So, and he has it like in chronological or level 1 spells.
Yeah.
And everything written out. It's very good. But like his spells, one, are written in Celestial. So can you read Celestial?
No. But I can cast comprehend languages on myself.
Alrighty.
Comprehend languages, I think, is listened to, unless it says red text.
It's you have
yeah, I
to
think
touching, but you can
Oh.
read what
Yeah.
you touch.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, I do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right.
I will cast comprehend languages on myself.
Okay, so you do that. He looks over you, noticing you doing that, he goes and then he continues reading your book. His spells are written, and so once you go ahead and cast the comprehend languages, and the veil goes over your eyes as everything that you're touching now, it shines gold, and then the letters change and from those runic weird shapes to common as you begin to be able to read it. And you can see his notes are detailed but are strange indeed, whereas he describes things such as sound or feelings, so I will need you to understand how he writes, to roll me an intelligence
Check. Okay. Oh, 14.
14. Okay, it's hard. I would say with your 14, a lot of it's hard to understand, so it limits the amount of what spells you're able to kind of really get down in the amount of time.
I would just ask him, like, what do you mean by this?
And then as you ask him, he goes, "Oh, it's the feeling of the energy, the glory of the power, and the power of the arcane that flows through your hips." And just totally just goes on, complete opposite on how you learn. The Corporus learns magic. He seems more sorcerer-like, even though he's a wizard. Or you don't know, he can multi-class. You have no idea exactly what he is.
Yeah, I have no idea, but I try to understand what he's saying, and I still like to look through what spells I do understand that he has.
Sure.
To see what I'd like to trade for.
What is the amount of time you can get? It is really late, so I just want to also factor in.
Yeah, no, I know it's late, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'd like to. The spells that I'm looking for are Chromatic Orb, which is a level 1 spell, and Chain Lightning, which I think is a level 5.
He has that too.
So those two are the ones. I mean, I don't want both of them. I want one of those two, but
isn't it 1 hour per spell level?
Yeah, it is. So I'm like, you're going to be pushing some.
I'm going to be pushing exhaustion. I know, but
I
could sleep on the fucking boat.
Pushing his patience. You're interrupting his orgy.
I mean, he has to copy a level 6 spell, so
he's like a.
He's a grand wizard.
Yeah, he probably can copy all spells at half.
Okay, so you, with your 14 intelligence, I say you're able to find both spells, but you only have time for one, so you can choose.
I will choose Chain Lightning.
Chain Lightning, okay, so that is an evocation spell. How long will it take you to... I don't know if you have any special stuff, but how long will it take you to write a level
if it's
5 spell?
It's 2 hours. It's what is it? An hour or 2 hours per spell?
I think it's an hour per spell level. Let me just look it up.
Yeah, it might be 2 hours per spell level, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. It is 2 hours per spell level and 50 gold of thing. Do you have... I know you bought a bunch of reagents. I just don't remember how much.
Yeah, I need to check my inventory, but I think I do have Actually, I only have enough for a level 1 spell. Never mind. So it's Chromatic Orb.
Look at you, not prepared.
I haven't had a chance.
Opportunity of a lifetime. Now you got Chromatic Orb. So you have, and it takes you 2 hours to do that. So
yeah. So I would copy Chromatic Orb into my spell book.
All right. So for the next 2 hours, you go ahead and start. And King Terminus seems to also be copying things down onto his paper before he goes and sews it into his spell book, or doing whatever he does to combine it. At this point, the 2 hours pass by, and you were able to successfully copy down Chromatic Orb. And you were able to decipher in a way that you were able to put it into your book at least. So you can understand. And King Terminus looks up and goes, "Interesting spell, friend," as he looks to be finished.
Oh, it took you that long to copy my spell?
I know. Your notes, how do you say, they're a little disorganized.
Oh.
You don't talk about the feeling of magic. The glorious power when it comes from your stomach and spreads throughout your toes and your fingertips, then out through the head. That is the essence of magic. How did you survive sitting on the throne?
I'm an Archon.
Oh, right, friend.
Yes. I also would like to copy this spell as he points at Chain Lightning, but I don't have the reagents for it, so another day.
Yes. That might take you some time, and we should rest. When this is all over, you can copy as many spells as you need.
I'm gonna hold you to that, King Terminus. And, he closes the tome and kind of slides it back to King Terminus and awaits his book to be returned.
And you just like slide it back and it gets dragged onto the table, and he goes and takes your book and hands it directly to you.
Horatio grabs it and puts it away. Says, guess I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, friend. Rest well. It's late.
I will do.
And as soon as you finish talking with King Terminus, you see the chicken and the pigs poof, and they turn into what you remember as one of the attendants, or maybe new attendants of King Terminus. He's like, 2 hours, glorious. This will be great at parties. Oh, sir, please not again. One of them says, "Please, sire." Oh, and then he goes and ushers you to leave and closes the door behind you as more bottles of clanging and things can be heard, and screams of people and laughter of King Terminus can be heard.
Kind of shiver a little bit and just go to my room.
All right. Meanwhile, during the 2 hours, King, you would have already arrived back. And it's practically empty down here, and doesn't seem to be anyone around.
When I get to the bar and I walk in and no one's there, I'll send a message and I'll say, "What room are you guys in?" to Monaco.
203.
I'm coming. And I'll walk up the stairs. 200, 201, 202. Oh. Hey, Duran.
Are you done having fun?
I didn't have any fun. I made sure the soldier got home safe, and that's it.
You should be preparing for a battle, and this is how you all spend it.
He now has an item I made and can save us or his troops in battle.
You and Horatio need to get serious.
All you do is think about yourself. There are more than just us.
I'm thinking about these people.
It is not the way to go about it. Why must you be like this?
Duran stands up.
As you try and stand, I'm gonna try and push you back down with both my hands.
Okay, so roll a contested strength, athletics, or acrobatics if you're the one receiving the push, which is Duran. But
wait, is it a strength save or a...
It's a check. It's either an athletics or a or you could do strength, or you could acrobatics because you can dodge out the way.
I'm gonna do athletics then.
Okay. As you go ahead to put him, so with King with a 6 and Duran with a 20, as you use your muscles to push down Duran with all your might, he Duran, you feel the force of King, but it's nothing to you, and it's not even enough to exude all your strength. You just push him up, and King, you're just thrusted back a little bit as Duran stands up.
Then I would push King back and pin his hand and just kind of put a hand above him against the wall.
Okay.
Why are you so mean?
I'm focused on our mission. There are people who are relying on us all the time, and all you all can think about is what makes you feel good.
That's what makes us alive.
And how many people would still be alive if we had focused on the mission?
There is a whole city saved because of the actions we've took. We've seen it. Maybe you don't remember, but I did. I went to the future with you, and it was terrible, and we lost. It was destroyed. And then, thanks to our friends and the actions we've taken, we've saved it and prevented a calamity.
We have prevented nothing, Duran says in Elvish, and at this point will not continue in Elvish.
I'll respond in Elvish and be like, Asnaftanhan! You know nothing!
Every moment that we spent curled up, wrapped in beds, warm and safe, smiling while others suffered, while others fought and others died, unbeknownst to us.
Are you a god? Do you think you can be everywhere? And do everything?
These gods do nothing for these people as they suffer. That is why we are here.
And we are doing everything we can. We are people too. We deserve happiness. We should not be destined to a life of pure vigilance. What life is that?
That is
Might as well
for those
make yourself
who
a gargoyle and overwatch the city then that way. Cast yourself in stone.
At least people can depend on stone.
You hang out with too many dwarves. Your analogies make no sense. I'll turn around and bang on the door now. I'm sure, Minako, you had your ear to the door the whole time.
Yeah, this is loud, so if you...
Yeah, they're like on the wall next to the door, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as you go to knock on the door, you see it's peeked open a little bit, and you see Minako kind of looking sheepishly, like, "Is it okay to come out?" Kind of, and she opens the door when she sees you knock on it.
You see Duran standing there and King, and you can feel the tension in the room, thick like a knife.
Do I know that she speaks Primordial? We both speak a similar bellowing. Oh no, I don't speak Primordial. Oh yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna urgle out like a ooh, ooh. And it's like in Primordial, this bellowing, I should have just stayed away.
She looks at Duran with this kind of almost fear, and puts her arm around King and kind of ushers him into the room.
I almost made a mistake, and then I just made it worse.
Hey, it's not your fault.
So mean. I don't know him anymore.
I'm so sorry you have to go through this, King. I'm so sorry. And she just hugs him, pulling his head into her chest and kind of like just giving him some love.
I'll just sob longingly into your bosom. After a moment or two, I'll try and compose myself, and I'll say, I don't know if you heard me, but nothing happened with Nathaniel. I mean, the guy I left with.
I know things are so bad between you and Duran right now. I know it's so hard to see someone you love change on you. King, you don't deserve this. You're good, and I'm so sorry that you have to see this man that you love and talk to him and work with him when he's like this. I'm proud of you for choosing the sanctity of your marriage.
Am I still, though? I saw the gods snap our bounded bodies. If they oppose it, who am I?
King, the bond between you and Duran is something stronger than magic, stronger than the gods. And I know that this will survive. This what he's going through now, we can't even imagine. We have to be strong for him and for you, I guess.
You're right. I just hope that we can get him back. I had these dreams and visions of being rulers together, of happy people, thriving, civilizations working together, a legacy we built together. And every time I look at his face and he turns away, juts out to go do scouting, who knows what, I just feel the vision I put on a pedestal slowly crumbling in front of me.
That time you had together was precious. It's worth your respect, even if the future is not so certain.
You're right. I'll start nodding and lift my chin up. You're right. Let's just make haste to Fia and find that shard and the other ones. We haven't even exhausted all of our options. Maybe King Terminus can help. Maybe he can wish a peace back to us or something. Anything.
Maybe we talk to him in the morning.
Yeah. Alright. Did no one claim these beds?
Oh, that one's Horatio's. There's mine. And then I don't know where Cal is.
Okay, well I'll just lay on the couch here then. I'll just turn over.
Alrighty. Manako, are you doing anything special?
She moves a blanket from one of the beds, one of the empty beds, to King, and then claims one of the ones that still has a blanket.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, with you two heading to bed, or you putting King to bed, Horatio, at this point, a couple hours would pass, and you would be able to make it back. Duran's still watching the door.
I want to try to sneak past Duran.
Okay, roll a stealth check. Duran, roll me a perception check.
He's asleep, so he should have disadvantage.
He doesn't sleep because he's trances. So
yeah, he's trancing. He should have. Oh God, I'm not gonna make it back.
Like as you step onto there,
I'm like,
you can hear
every single like plank I step on squeaks, and I'm just like,
you're being so careful too, but just every single one.
Yeah. Fuck. Shit. Damn it.
You could just walk up. Do whatever you like. Drem barks at him.
Oh. See, you're ever so vigilant.
Someone has to be.
Understood. And Horatio will just walk in, not say anything else.
You go ahead, walk in the door, closing it. See Manako and King resting in their beds. If Manako, you are resting, or I don't know if you went to bed.
Yeah, she went to bed after giving King a blanket and just laying down, kind of awake. And when she sees Horatio come in, she just nods and continues to not be asleep in bed.
All right.
Horatio would nod back, and in brain chat said, "You should really try to get some sleep," and then he'll go to bed.
Okay. So as you go to bed and you all rest there, Cal, alone on the ice crown, as the sound of the shifting waves can be heard once again crashing against the hull of the ship, you remain there silent, repeating the oath in your head over and over again, trying to make sense of what it is to be a watcher of chaos. After a few hours of this, what would you like to do? You can remain sleeping on the boat, as there are places you can sleep, obviously, or you can head back to the inn.
I would fall asleep on the boat, probably right there at the helm. I'd like just, I probably would have just like gone back and like been leaning up against the wheel, repeating my oath and thinking about it for a while until I just kind of pass out underneath the stars of eternal dusk.
Alrighty.
Sorry.
So you go ahead and with a warm, gentle breeze, with a little bit of cool, almost ominous of the journey to Shivering that will go before you, you fall asleep and you all have a night's rest. And with that, we will take a break.
Damn me and not having my damn fucking materials. I could have had chain lightning.